Welcome to Speak for Yourself. I'm Jason Whitlock. Colin Cowherd has the day off. Last night, LeBron James permanently diminished his legacy. I do not say that with any sense of satisfaction or malicious intent. I say it simply as a witness and chronicler of sports history. LeBron James is a great player. He is not a great competitor. That's what the closing minute of Golden State's 110-102 victory in Game 3 revealed. LeBron's not a dog. With the Warriors up 3 points with a minute to play, Kevin Durant walked the ball to center court and was in the process of squaring up against King James. This was a historic moment. It was the equivalent of Ali and Frazier touching gloves before the 14th round of the Thrill in Manila. But somehow, James and Durant never touched gloves. James inexplicably handed Durant over to Rodney Hood and decided to guard Golden State's coldest shooter, Steph Curry. I want you to think about that. The greatest player in the world with the game on the line turned Kevin Durant over to Rodney Hood. Last night was the most meaningful minutes Hood had played in almost 3 weeks. Are you kidding me? There's no dog here. This is how a dog dies.
Well, get on with it, motherfucker.
A dog doesn't seek cover while Kevin Durant is raising up from damn near 30 feet, unspooling the shot that would give Golden State an insurmountable 3-0 series lead. That's what James did. And unfortunately, we've seen this before. We saw James quit in Game 5 of an Eastern Conference semifinal in 2010 against the Celtics. That series was tied 2-2. James put up 15 points and 7 assists. The Cavs lost the series in 6 games, and James took his talents to South Beach shortly after. In 2011, James laid down against the Dallas Mavericks in the NBA Finals.
You're going to say somebody that quit in the finals at the end of everything when all the marbles on the table, what? That you're going to say he's the greatest of all time. I can't buy that.
In the current NBA Finals, there are 3 defining moments. One is obviously J.R. Smith running out the clock in Game 1. 2 is LeBron's meltdown reaction to J.R. Smith blowing the game and Ty Lue not calling a timeout. And 3 is LeBron turning down Durant's in-game challenge. There's an obvious pattern here. Too often, when it's time to let the dog out, James has no bark. Now, do I feel sorry for what happened to LeBron in Game 1? Absolutely. But pity don't pay no bills. LeBron is the most remarkable athlete I've ever seen. He's one of the 5 best basketball players I've ever seen. But as a relentless competitor and leader, he falls behind Jordan, Bird, Magic, Isaiah, Kobe, Russell, Kareem, D. Wade, Chris Broussard. LeBron symbolizes what's wrong with the modern NBA. Everybody wants it to be easy. No one wants to pay the price for true greatness. All right, joining me now to talk about this, NBA analyst Chris Broussard, former NBA player Jim Jackson, former NBA champion Steven Jackson. I'm going to start with you, Jim. I don't see a dog here. Tell me I'm wrong.
You know, you started off this thing, monotone. You was smiling a little bit. Then once you got into it, that bravado came out. The curse words came out. But listen, and you using some wording here to kind of get everybody on the same. Permanently diminish his legacy.
Yes.
Come on, man, stop it. He ain't permanent. That's maybe in your mind he did. This is not going to diminish his legacy. Now, I'm going to say this. I want
to stop you real quick. I just want to say, Kobe and Michael Jordan, watched that last night. You tell me they wasn't laughing?
He's not Kobe. He's never been built like Kobe or Mike. So why you expect him to act like Kobe or Mike?
And Michael are watching that, and this man turned down Kevin Durant. You don't think they're laughing?
So did he turn down Derrick Rose when he had to guard him? Did he turn down Kevin Durant last year? If this was a pattern, I would say yes, he ain't got no dog. But the dog you're talking about is Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. That's on a whole nother level. LeBron has never been that. LeBron ain't built like that. So I don't expect him to be that kind of person. Heck, Russell Westbrook is a different kind of animal. And LeBron is not there. Allen Iverson is a different.
Y'all making my point. He's no dog.
I think there is a little gentle giant in LeBron. I
No
think there
doubt.
was in
Of
Wilt.
course.
I think it was in Shaq.
now.
Yeah, I think, and LeBron's obviously not a 7-footer, but he's clearly been bigger than everybody else growing up and more athletically gifted than anybody we've seen. So when you're growing up like that and you're bigger than all the kids, you don't really want to hurt them. You just want to be accepted. You want to accept, and I think there's some of that in LeBron where he's friendlier. You mentioned Michael, Kobe. Competitiveness is a spectrum.
D-Wade.
Competitiveness is a spectrum. And Michael is on one end of the spectrum. LeBron's not on the other end of the spectrum, but he's not where Mike is. Like Mike
He ain't
and
where Larry
Kobe,
Bird and Magic
they
are.
wanted to demoralize you. I think LeBron just wants to win, but he might want you to get yours. I'll get 40, we win. You can have your 35.
It's a different era too. Like these players, they all get along. When we played, we didn't work out together. We weren't on the same team. So this is the true example of the era today. They don't want to compete with each other. They want each other to succeed and get points and score all the points. That's why we would never put him in the category with Jordan or Kobe. I played plenty of games with Kobe. I seen Kobe, the star player, scoring points. Kobe like, no, I got him. MJ with the Detroit days, I'm guarding Joe Dumars. LeBron just don't have that, so we shouldn't expect that from him. He's never had dog to me. He's just always been great. He's never had the dog in him that Kobe and Jordan had. I've never seen that. I've just seen a great player. So when you say he doesn't have the dog in him, I agree with you because I've never seen it. He's just great.
And okay, hold it.
What?
If that's his reputation, if everybody's in agreement, that diminishes him. Because when you start talking about the all-time greats, because I watched
But he's going to be an all-time great. That's the thing. He's top.
yeah.
five.
So
So
you're
everybody's
telling me
book.
that after this, when LeBron retires, no matter what happens, he's not going to be in the top 2 or 3. That what you're saying?
For me, and I love the guy, I love watching him. For me, he backed himself up now. It's hard for me, when I think of Isaiah Thomas and the guys that just laid it on the line, the real dogs in this league, it's hard for me to go there with LeBron. He's a great player. Wilt was a great player, but they don't talk about Wilt like they talk about Russell. They don't talk about Wilt like they even talk about Kareem. That gentle giant, they don't talk about Shaq the way.
See, look, I played with Kobe. I played with AI. I played with Xavier McDaniel. You're talking about somebody that'll go get. I played with Derek Coleman. So trust me, I get it. When I was with the Lakers, Kobe, we were going to play New Jersey Nets, and it was Vince Carter. Kobe had it out for him. He was like, I'm about to get up into him from the beginning of the game. And at the time, I'm on the bench, I'm watching it. I'm like, I can't believe Vince not going back at him. Yeah. Trust me, I've seen it. And I've seen LeBron where he's been in situations too, just knowing how he's grown up and how he's played. He's always been accommodating to his teammates.
Yep.
He's never wanted to push away. He's always wanted to be inviting. That's his personality. That's who he is, and that's who I judge him by.
Okay, but here's my point, though, I guess. With other competitors and guys in the NBA, I'm telling you, y'all been to my house, I'm sitting at my desk watching the TV, and literally, when he turned down Durant in that moment, I damn near fell out of my chair. And you're telling me that Michael Jordan and his peers, Bill Russell, isn't sitting at home going, I can't believe, it's like seeing a ghost.
It's a different era, and this is one of the reasons why I hate watching the game. Because, perfect example, Steph hit 9 threes. Nobody
took him out.
I'm not saying hurt him, but if he drive, knock his butt down. Put him on the ground one time. Try to knock off his rhythm. If I was LeBron, knowing that we need game 3, in my mind, and probably in your mind too, there's no way I'm not guarding KD. There's no way I'm not putting my offense aside to stop the best player in the game right now. So, therefore, the dog, like I said, he's never had it. So it can't kill his legacy because he's never had it.
Here's the other thing. On the other end of the court, Steph Curry was guarding him. Now, you want Steph Curry on you. You switch. You run pick and roll to get Steph on you, and LeBron would take him and then pass it off. He wasn't
Tristan
taking a shot.
Thompson in traffic.
I'll say this, too. I interviewed LeBron one-on-one early in his career. It might have been his 3rd or 4th year, and we were talking about championships, and he said, I'm never going to be a ring chaser, okay? I think the pressure, and he's under more scrutiny than any other player because of the technology today. The pressure, the scrutiny, the comparisons to Mike, you got to get rings, 6 rings, 5 rings, whatever. I think that's led him to want to team up even more than he naturally would with other great players. You know, rather than saying, I'm just going to win it on my own with the guys I got. Whoever I got, we can win it. I think that pressure has led him to want better players,
But we're saying that, we have to say this. What more can this man do? What more can we ask him to do? Like, honestly.
guard Kevin Durant in the final minute.
Well,
we can ask him to do that.
We could also ask his teammates to make a shot. We can ask them to play defense as well.
They made shots. J.R. Smith was a travesty, but that's LeBron's travesty.
So that one possession is the reason they lost?
No.
Right.
It
No.
reveals
Right. My point.
It reveals something about him
That we've been seeing his whole career.
And Chris just took me to the other thing. If I was LeBron James, and I'm being dead serious here, when Stephen A. Smith opened his mouth on national TV and said, LeBron's going to talk to Golden State, I would have had to slap the taste out of Stephen. Don't lie on me. And if it's not a lie, then it says everything I'm saying. If he goes to Golden State, even considers going to Golden State, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't stomach it.
You watch the game and you see this. You see guys that are not superstars kind of go at LeBron because they don't respect him from a toughness perspective. Same thing when people would go at Dwight Howard because they didn't respect him. They didn't go at Kobe like that, but you went at him, but it was a different way you went at him.
You knew he was coming back.
You knew he was coming back. Mike, we would talk all the time, but I think even around the league, it's guys that really don't respect, you talking about that dog part, of LeBron because they know his personality. I mean, guys go at him. It was a point, too, where I think it was in the Boston series maybe. It was a hard foul, and you had the rookie. No, actually, it was Golden State, Jordan Bell. Hard foul in Golden State, and you can see him mouthing opposite the court to LeBron James with no respect. So I get what you're saying, and I see it a lot of times with guys on the court.
Let me say about Golden State. Look, I'm with you. If he goes to Golden State, that shows a complete disdain for competition. All right? So you cannot do that. But if they want to talk to him, out of respect, I might listen. If they come to me and say,
Why
look,
would I respect Golden State?
I would
not
say,
gonna happen.
well,
That's
this
not
is my
gonna
thing. If I'm Golden
Stephen A. gotta stop
State,
lying.
if I'm Golden State, I don't talk to him. I want to put it in his mind, we don't need you. We dogs up here. I wouldn't talk to him if I was Golden State. But if they come to him, I don't see a problem with listening to what they say, but I wouldn't initiate it. Because they might say, we'll give up Steph and Clay for you. And then it's a whole different situation. I'm not saying they would, but I'd listen.
I don't even, like I said, Stephen A. stop lying. I don't even think that's true. I don't think that's even in the back of LeBron's mind of going to Golden State.
Why is it out of the realm of possibility when I just watched the man lay down for for Durant at the end of the game?
He didn't lay down.
He didn't lay down.
He didn't lay down, man.
Those rings would be meaningless.
Show the video again. No, seriously, show the video again. There's no reason to walk away from Kevin Durant. No, go back.
He should have.
He wasn't even in that play.
No, he is in that play. He'd already walked away 15 seconds ago.
He moved out of the play.
He had already moved away scared 15 seconds ago. It was incredible. Y'all not showing the right clip. That was inconceivable to me in that moment. So now I believe anything's a possibility. I really do.
Well, he stepped up last year on that same play and the same outcome. So
that might have been in his mind. That might have been in the back of his mind.
That's how you go down. Go down like a man.
Exactly. I'm with you on that.
This time of year brings us two things: graduations and Father's Day, and the gifts that go along with them. Before you buy Dad another tie or that grad a balloon that will probably float away, ask yourself this: does my dad or grad like wings or sports, or better yet, both? If the answer is yes, then get them a Buffalo Wild Wings gift card. Right now, if you purchase $30 worth or more in-store or online, they'll give you a $5 bonus to keep for yourself. That's a gift that gives back. How generous of you. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Terms and conditions apply. All right, welcome back. Jim Jackson is back. We're joined now by former NFL Pro Bowler T.J. Houshmandzadeh and the founder of the Big Lead, Jason McIntyre. Let's move to Terrell Owens, who today did exactly what I predicted he would do, declining his invitation to attend the Hall of Fame induction ceremony in August, releasing a statement saying, quote, "After visiting Canton earlier this year, I came to the realization that I wish to celebrate what will be one of the most memorable days of my life elsewhere. At a later date, I will announce where and when I will celebrate my induction. I wish to congratulate all past, current, and future inductees. It is quite an honor to be part of such an elite company. This honor is something that I will cherish forever," but not with his classmates.
Or fans.
And so, listen, I said this at the time. the worst teammate in the history of professional football is now going to be the worst teammate in the history of the Hall of Fame. And he won't even come and celebrate this moment with his teammates. This is typical Terrell Owens, and I think the voters made a mistake putting him in. You don't put the worst teammate in a team sport in the Hall of Fame, and now he's going to be a bad Hall of Fame teammate. They made a mistake putting him in the Hall of Fame.
I don't think they made a mistake. His numbers speak for themselves in regards to receiving yards, touchdowns, and receptions. I don't think that where he ranks. Numbers put him into the Hall of Fame.
Fantasy football Hall of Fame.
Are we judging based on whether we like him or not, or do numbers speak for themselves? Yes, they do.
Game, he's a bad teammate.
Listen, it's a lot of bad teammates probably in the Hall of Fame. I'm sure
Not
TJ,
this bad.
Come on, man. But listen, I'm with you on this. You campaigned for 3 years to be in the Hall of Fame, that you deserve to be there. And now you got a chance to do it, and you say, you know what? I'm not showing up. I don't like that part of it because, look, I'm not going in the Hall of Fame, but I can imagine if I was, that's one thing I wouldn't do is turn it down because, one, I want to show respect to the people that have done it, respect to the people that are going in with me, and to thank people, the fans who supported me all those years.
But
You keep saying respect, Jim. He would counter, and I'm speaking for Terrell Owens. Hey, man, they didn't respect me. They snubbed me multiple times, wouldn't let me in.
But listen, it's been receivers that have my boy Chris Carter took him 6 years to get in.
Very fair point. But from Terrell Owens, you'd think a guy who's 44 years old, maybe he wouldn't hold grudges like this. He would have been grown up and said, I'm over that. Hey, I'm just happy to get in. I know you're laughing at that.
Former teammate, former NFL wide receiver. Please, can you defend him?
For me, I don't know why anybody's surprised. Like, this does not surprise me one bit. He didn't get what he wanted in Philly. Like, let me get in his driveway and hit these abs. He was doing, when he doesn't get his way, he lashes out. That's what he does. Do I agree with it? It doesn't matter if I agree with it. I know this. There are 6 receivers that were first ballot Hall of Famers. And this is just my opinion. There's only 2 that you can argue are better than T.O., and that's Randy Moss and Jerry Rice. Everybody else, he's better than those guys. Steve Largent, no disrespect, Lance Allworth, Paul Warfield, and Raymond Berry. T.O. should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. This is his way of saying, y'all screwed me over. Now I got you. I'm not showing up. It does not surprise me one bit.
TJ.
Respect your teammates. When he's doing what he's doing, does he respect his teammate? This is what T.O. does.
TJ.
This is him.
They just let him into football's heaven. And to me, the greatest Hall of Fame there is. And it doesn't matter when you're called. If you get an opportunity to go to heaven, it's, oh, you didn't call me soon enough. I'm going to sit this out.
Don't disagree with that. But T.O. thinks differently than we do. His whole thing was he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer in his mind. And I agree with it. He should have been. He was not. Okay, y'all gonna make me wait till my 3rd time? I'm gonna do something nobody has ever done. I ain't showing up. And that's what he does.
Proof to me that he shouldn't have been in the Hall of Fame.
Well, there's no argument. I mean, Jim's right. He's top 10 in receiving yards, receptions, TDs. But Whitlock, your heaven analogy, listen, you get up to heaven because of your character, how you are as a person, a human being. Football Hall of Fame is a stats thing. They don't care. I mean,
It's
listen,
not a stats
they got some
thing.
people in there that
Y'all
are very
turned
questionable.
it into a stats thing, but it's never been a stats thing. It's been turned into that.
So what is it, 50% stats, 50% personality?
It should be a whole evaluation of your career. And if part of your evaluation...
So they need to go take some guys out that's in the Hall of Fame now. They're like, we're changing the criteria.
What do you mean?
You got to get up out of here.
When I say evaluation, I'm talking about of his football career, an entire evaluation. And when 6 or 7 teams say, you know what, I don't want you anymore, that ain't a Hall of Famer.
But you got to look on the flip side. 6 or 7 don't want him. That means 6 or 7 do want him. Because as quickly as those guys got rid of him, there were other teams willing to take him on.
So, but the criteria can't be just, was he a good guy? And he had good numbers.
That's not the question.
But that's what you're saying. You say he got to be. You telling me he got to be squeaky clean to get into the Hall of Fame?
No.
Okay, so he got to get along
Lawrence
with every.
Taylor wasn't squeaky clean.
But
There's a bunch of guys
he has
that
to get
wasn't
along with
squeaky
every
clean.
teammate in order to get. Okay, so what are you saying?
He can't be.
He can't be what?
A problem on every team that he's ever played on. And again, now he's a problem for the Hall of Fame.
Hey, Randy Moss.
This is a mistake.
We know the history of Randy Moss. He was not the best teammate in the world, worked his way out of Oakland.
Everywhere,
You
Minneapolis.
can't say every team. T.O. wasn't a problem with the Bengals. That's one team he
Why'd
wasn't
they let him go? After a short, 2 years or a year and a half, they let him go?
He wasn't a problem with the
He
Rangers.
said he wasn't
That's
working.
not every team.
See, you can't generalize the whole thing.
To Philadelphia, where Malcolm Jenkins apparently got tired of talking about player protests and decided to hold up signs addressing social justice issues instead of answering questions about the Eagles' conflict with the White House. Later, Jenkins explained why he went all love actually on everyone, saying he was tired of people focusing on the anthem instead of the issues the players were trying to raise awareness about. This is what I like Malcolm Jenkins, but to complain that people are talking about the anthem rather than the issues, well, that's on the players. Because if you choose to do your protest during the national anthem, don't be shocked that people talk about the national anthem. What he did yesterday, to me, is what should have been going on the entire time. You do interviews with the media, you can make them talk about and write about what you want them to write and talk about in interviews. If you want to they want to ask you questions about football and you want to force them to address social injustice issues, do that. But if you do it during the national anthem, don't get shocked that the public talks about the national anthem.
Actions speak louder than words. Don't we say that?
Yeah.
You can say all you want, but the actions show that these guys were committed to what they were saying. I said this from the beginning. The national anthem argument is out of the question. And I say this for a reason. We're talking about a decisive or divisive subject matter, which is race, which a lot of white America don't want to talk about. If we were saying that we're going to kneel, if we were going to say we're going to kneel for injustice to our veterans, if we're for breast cancer, if we were for a war, whatever it may be that people can agree on, it wouldn't be a problem. We wouldn't be talking about the anthem. But because it's racism, now it's an issue with the issue. And they'll code it with the anthem. I've been saying that from the beginning.
Jim, here's what I'll say. There are white people sitting at home watching that would say, you just said white people don't want to talk about race. They would say a lot of black people don't know what they're talking about when they talk about race.
I would disagree.
Oh, so every black person is an expert on race, and everybody white doesn't want to talk about race.
Okay, you're right in the generalization. You know what I'm talking about in regards to how uncomfortable that subject is to a lot of white Americans.
But there are white Americans, and I would somewhat agree with. There's a lot of people talking about race who are lying, being dishonest, don't know what they're talking about. And they're on TV pretending like they're experts.
But Jason, the issue has been from the beginning, we're not protesting against the anthem. We're protesting against what's happening in society. And they've said it.
You can say it.
Kaepernick has been on many interviews and talked about it.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has to.
Again, that's where they go.
Yes, he has to.
Kaepernick won't talk.
He hasn't.
Jim.
The problem is this.
He has talked at the beginning when they interviewed him. He told them what his statements were and why he was doing it.
And
That's
he
what
said, I'm not going to respect the flag of a country that oppresses people. So he made it about the flag.
The problem is, obviously, Kaepernick lost his career over this. If these guys are going to do well for the black community and help them, go do it. You don't have to publicize it, because this is just my opinion. Malcolm Jenkins was not doing this, in my eyes, before Kaepernick brought this to the forefront.
Yes.
He was not doing this. There's a lot of guys that were not doing this. And now that it's such a big deal now, everybody's at the forefront of,
publicity.
Oh,
yes.
They're mistreating. They've been mistreating the African-American guy. The athlete, the regular man, you getting that's been happening. But now that Kaepernick has brought it to the forefront, and now he's out the league, everybody wants to step to the forefront and say, hey, I'm helping too. You weren't helping before? So if you're gonna do it privately. Help people out privately. You don't have to make it and get bonus points. Oh man, Malcolm Jenkins is out here helping everybody. Do it privately, and if that makes you feel good about it, that's fine. You don't have to get publicity from helping people out.
So, TJ, you're telling me, by the way, I like what Malcolm Jenkins did at the locker. I thought this was brilliant. But if he had just huddled with Colin Kaepernick before he started kneeling, they would have had so much more success and so little pushback that we're seeing. Would you agree with that? Well, there would be no pushback if players just said, hey, guys, let's stand at our locker and hold up this information for everybody to see. Not during the anthem, Not with the flag involved, I don't think we would have any problems in the NFL with this right now.
Let me translate what you just said, Jason. If they had planned their actions,
Yes.
they would have had more success. That's like a novel approach that no one's heard of, that you can actually plan for the success you want to have and institute a plan that's well thought out rather than just winging it. I can't believe that we actually can say this in the media and public, that you can actually think about the results you want, plan for them, and do things rather than just wing it and make it up on your
Jim,
own.
You got to agree with what he's saying. That's
And make it up on your own.
That's the truth.
And then get
That's the truth.
upset. Get upset. Oh, people don't hear our message. Well, you didn't plan
but
for
when you
people
got
to hear
the
your
president,
message.
when you got the president, I mean,
I don't think the president's getting involved if this is the protest. Holding up signs at a locker during a press interview. and it's still getting a lot of coverage. I
there's
don't think the president's tweeting.
There's
about it.
people on the Eagles that probably genuinely wanted to go to the White House. As a black athlete, it's almost, you can't go. You can't go. The president has demeaned the African-American players so much, you can't go to the White House. You can't.
I mean, Ray Lewis, a guy who works here, met with the president. Okay? So
He shouldn't have done it.
Here's what I would say, TJ. I think the perception is the president has demeaned black players.
He said it.
No. He's the players that were protesting, he called them SOBs. That's not all black players. There's 1,700 NFL players. At that time, there had probably been 15 to 20 that had protested. That's not everybody. And so if someone runs in here and says, hey, that fat person needs to lose weight, they're not talking about you, or you, and you're all people. They're just talking about me. And so the 15 or 20 or how many, 30 that were that's who he was talking about. And again, I say a lot of things. I've been killing Bill Belichick all summer. I'm not diminishing all coaches. I'm not diminishing all white. I'm going at Bill Belichick for what he did to Malcolm Butler. And so everybody has that right. Again, this is where I say, and I don't mean this in any way disrespectfully to anybody, but everybody wants to talk race, but no one wants to do it from research, facts. Everybody wants to talk it off emotion. And it just falls on deaf ears to a lot of people because some people can hear the bogusness of it and just that it's not factually based.
I understand what you're saying, and race is always a touchy subject depending on where the subject matter is and who it's coming from. Because what I can say about race is totally different about somebody else. And how I try to explain it is I've been in situations before, whether professionally, when I was growing up, that you may not have been. So let me explain to you, when I'm with my white friends and we're talking about different things, I try to break down the characteristics of why it affects me. You may not know. You may not see it different. You may see it different.
Let me give you one more point, though, Jim, that I've had the experience of being ridiculously harassed by police officers in South Carolina in the early 1990s. And they were all white police officers, maybe 8 of them, had me pulled over to the side of a highway and for about an hour. And it was one of the worst experiences of my lifetime. And at that moment, in the days and maybe the months after, I was angry as hell. But eventually, as I continued on with the rest of my life, I've had, let's say, 1,000 interactions with police. I think I've had 2 bad experiences. One really bad that I just referenced, and another slightly bad. Can I, after thousands of interactions with police, can I now say all police are bad and the whole city? Or was that group of guys that did me wrong? Are they the bad guys and not everybody? I got friends that are police officers, good guys. Good, strong black men.
That's the world we live in, though. That's the world we live in.
We want to reduce, I had this interaction, therefore it says something about everybody, and it's just not true. Because I don't want the people that may have a bad experience with black people to then say, that applies to me.
Generalize it.
So again, we're trying to do things to white people that we don't want done to us. It's dangerous and unfair.
Hey guys, Jason McIntyre here. Before the show moves along, I wanted to tell you that support for the Speak For Yourself podcast comes from our friends at Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. They understand that home plays a big role in your life and family. That's why they created Rocket Mortgage. Rocket Mortgage gives you the confidence you need when it comes to buying a home or refinancing your existing home loan. It's simple, allowing you to fully understand all the details and be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Whether you're looking to buy your first home or your 10th, with Rocket Mortgage, you get a transparent online process that gives you the confidence to make an informed decision. It's convenient. Our trusted partners allow you to share your financial information with Rocket Mortgage at the touch of a button. And in addition to getting a real mortgage approval in minutes, you can even adjust the rate and length of your loan in real time to make sure you're getting the right solution for you. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Apply simply. Understand fully. Mortgage confidently. To get started, go to rocketmortgage.com/speak. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
All right, welcome back. Jim Jackson, Steven Jackson, and Chris Broussard are back. Let's move to Kevin Durant, who took over last night in Cleveland, scoring a playoff career-high 43, including a dagger three from about 30 feet with less than a minute left that put the game out of reach. Afterward, LeBron had a lot to say about KD's big night.
You guys asked me what's the difference between the Warriors. You guys asked me this last year. What was the difference between the Warriors the previous year and this year? What was my answer? Kevin Durant was my answer. You know, he's one of the best players that I've ever played against, that this league has ever seen. His ability to handle the ball, shoot the ball, you know, make plays at his length, at his size, at his speed. So there it is.
All right, LeBron had a lot of positive things to say about Kevin Durant. Part of it, I believe that there's some truth to it. Part of it, I think, hype Kevin Durant up because he's just took you out. And so you got to be taken out by Larry Bird if you're Magic Johnson. You got to be taken out by Isaiah Thomas and the Bad Boy Pistons if you're Michael Jordan. You got to be taken out by greatness. And so he's hyping Kevin Durant up as an explanation for, you know, what's transpired here with him. I think there's some truth to what he's saying, but I think he's going a little bit too far. Kevin Durant took the easy way out, went to Golden State, and has stolen a couple of championships. Good for him. LeBron knows this. LeBron knows
Easy way
this.
out.
He stole it, but he still can play.
Easy way
We're
out.
talking about can he play? And LeBron rattled off why he is KD, why he is one of the best players, if not the second best player in the NBA or across the world. So I believe he's sincere in that. I believe that he doesn't have to mask it. He respects him. It goes back to what Steven said. These guys know each other. They work out. They do things. So their respect level is a lot different than what it was when we were playing.
One of your heroes and all our heroes used to do the same thing. Muhammad Ali used to hype up his opponents before he beat them, but he would hype them up like they were the greatest thing he was ever fighting. I don't see anything that LeBron said that's not true, though.
Right.
Durant is one of the best players he's played against. Shaq, Kobe, Tim Duncan, the only three that you would say are even in his class, Durant's class. So I think everything he said was true.
Did you mention Dirk Nowitzki in that list?
Durant's better than Dirk.
Did you mention?
He's better than Dirk.
Dirk's more accomplished.
I don't need.
Dirk is easy to guard too.
Yeah, he ain't better or more. He's got one ring. Durant's gonna have two.
That's why. That's the argument, right?
He did it on his own. He manned up and did it on his own.
Durant's gonna have like
he manned up and did it on his own.
If you drafted, you gonna take Dirk or you gonna take KD?
I'm gonna take the
No,
guy
I ain't
that
asking you the question. You gonna take Dirk or
I'm gonna
KD?
take Kevin Durant.
Okay, all that other stuff don't even matter.
I got more respect for
No,
Dirk.
I didn't ask you that.
Respect don't pay the bills. Like pity, respect don't pay the bills.
But he just said KD took the easy way out.
Yes.
The easy way out is going to a team sitting on that bench and at the end of the season raising the trophy without contributing. That's the easy way out. He went there and became the best player on a championship team already. That's not an easy way out. And everything KD said, it's out of respect, and it's the truth. It ain't
everything LeBron said.
I mean, excuse me. Everything LeBron said is the truth. It's not, I'm just trying to make an excuse so I lose. I can say I got beat by the second best player in the league. No, he is great, and you getting beat by, he's better in this series. You have to give this man his props. I salute LeBron for being honest about that because a lot of times, a lot of guys get up there, they be bitter. They throw salt on people's game when they're being great. Let this man be great. It's his time, LeBron. It's his time.
Because let's be honest, Jason. I mean, LeBron could have easily sat
because salt
up.
ain't nothing but seasoning.
LeBron could have easily sat up there and done what you did. He could have been like, KD's great, but let's be honest. He went to a 73-win team.
He could have easily said
he
that.
Could have, and nobody would have even been able to say nothing. He would have been right.
But nobody will respect that.
He could have easily.
Yep.
No one would respect that.
And
Honesty?
if you
That's not honest.
So you think he
That's
should have
hate.
said that?
If you'd have said that, you'd have been said he was hating.
You would have killed him.
wouldn't. You would not have done that.
You would have been. We know you.
We
We know
know
you.
Look at LeBron up
He's
there hating
jealous,
on KD.
all that.
You wouldn't have been clapping.
I always respect honesty
Well,
and
he was
always
being honest.
appreciate honesty. The man walked. Look,
Because you don't
KD's
believe it, it's not honest. Because you don't believe it. It's not honest.
not completely, because I know what LeBron, in my view, I know what LeBron really thinks. The guy took the easy way out. And then he went over and look, you surround me
But how
with
can he
Klay
say that
Thompson.
when he went to
You
Miami?
because this is
Yeah,
worse.
But
it was worse, but
he
it's
still
similar.
took an easier
Yeah,
path.
they're
He
still similar.
still took it easy. So he can't go at KD like
And
that.
you can't be the easy way out when you go to a team and you the Finals MVP. That's not the easy way
Maybe
out.
2 years in a row.
That's leading. That's going there and leading.
If he went there and averaged 14 points a game, yeah, that'd be the easy way out.
Right.
You go there and you average 25, you the MVP, you the best player. Nah, he
In
took
my
over.
view, honest to goodness, if he really wants to put his name up there with Duncan and get in the conversation as a top 10 great player, KD needs to leave after this year and go build him his own team or someplace, not where he done cherry picked off of Curry.
Winning is winning regardless where you go.
If you the star, he's a star wherever
Winning
he's
is
at.
winning. If you want to be a loser and if you're comfortable with losing, you will stay on the losing team. I want to win. I'm going where they winning.
So,
Name
so
a top
earlier in the
10. Who's ahead of Bird? Had McHale, Parrish, Dennis
that's
Johnson.
a different era. And he played against greatness. He played against the Showtime Lakers.
He's
and all.
playing against greatness. LeBron,
And Rodney
Kevin
Hood.
Love,
And Rodney Hood.
hit some jumpers last night.
and Ty Lue.
Houston,
switching everything.
Houston, Chris Paul, and James Harden.
Mike D'Antoni as the coach.
Let me tell you, if I went and set a screen, they would switch on me. All right, welcome back. Jim Jackson, Steve Jackson, Chris Broussard are back. Let's return to the finals, where the Warriors pulled out the win in Cleveland last night. No thanks to Steph Curry, who was terrible, shooting just 3 of 16 from the field, including 1 of 10 from downtown. After the game, Steph was asked about not having to carry the load for the Warriors anymore.
For the last 2 years, I've been playing alongside Kevin Durant, so he's an amazing talent, an amazing player. Does amazing things every night. We all feed off each other. So tonight was not my night offensively; it was his night. But like I said, this moment is great, and you encourage each other along the way, and we appreciate what we bring out of each other. And we'll talk about him all night. He was amazing.
All right, look, compare what Steph's done in the finals the last 2 years to what KD has done. It's crystal clear here, guys. 2 things happened last night. LeBron defined himself as not a true competitor, and Kevin Durant finished the job of snatching the Golden State Warriors completely away from Steph Curry. Nike executives are celebrating. The Under Armour brand has been destroyed at Golden State. Steph Curry is a nice little cute story. It's now Kevin Durant's team. I got to applaud Nike for sending Kevin Durant here to do this. It's over. It's Kevin Durant's team.
It's his team because he's the best player. I don't think the community, I don't think the fans, they still look at Steph as the guy. I think he's more revered in Golden State, in Oakland.
Did they watch last night?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think Steph is one of those
Did
guys.
you watch Game 7?
Exactly.
West Conference Finals?
That's right. That's right.
It was Steph.
You think anybody cares about
Do you watch
Yeah,
Game 2?
those fans
Did you watch
do.
Game 2 of the finals?
Yesterday, if it wasn't
Yeah.
Game 7.
I told y'all about Game 2 on Monday, and we
Steph
just
Curry.
played the clip back.
Steph
I
Curry.
wasn't impressed.
Here's what I think it is, Jason.
You having a tough Monday. We just started. I can tell you that now.
Look, I think they're going to be like, yeah, KD's the best player. If you absolutely had to say whose team it is, you probably go with the best player, KD, although I think their identity has been Steph even these last 2 years. However, they are going to be like the Showtime Lakers. Do we argue, was it Kareem's team or was it Magic's team?
It was Magic's
You just
team.
say, most people I've talked, like players in the league at that time, said Kareem was the best player.
Magic ran the team. Kareem was the best player.
They always went to Kareem in the post, even late in
Who had
games,
the
even when he
ball?
was 40.
Who had the ball?
But Magic wasn't taking that shot. It was Kareem
in
doing it.
In the era of Kareem and Magic, who had the greatest game of all time in that era? 42, 15, and 7, played all 5 positions. That's the game we talk
Your
about.
guy,
had to give him
you
the ball.
talk to Isaiah Thomas just like I do. Isaiah Thomas says, when we were in Detroit, we prepared for Kareem.
Love Isaiah.
We prepared for
Love
Kareem.
It. Hater in the house.
You saw them, they made up. They made up. It's all good now. But they the Golden State Warriors. They're a selfless team. They don't care about whose team it is. So I don't think it matters.
And we have people ask that question because you have two dominant players. I think if you talk about who's the best player, who has the most talent, of course it's KD. You got him second in the league behind LeBron. Of course
Who can you count on?
Both of them.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Have you been watching the playoffs? They don't get out the West Conference Finals if Steph don't play like that in Game 7. They don't win Game 2 if Steph don't play like that. They don't win last night without KD. What I'm saying is, at times, both of them have to be the star player. Both of them have to be the head of the snake. And they do a great job of supporting each other when the other one's not on. They just got to give them props for both being great.
Happier today, Nike or Under Armour?
Both happy because they both selling.
They both about to have some champions.
And right, exactly. And they both gonna make championship commercials.
Steve, didn't you like this too? As a player, you want to, as you get older too, you want to work smarter, not harder. You love to play with guys who are selfless, who support you. Kevin Durant said it too. He said it feels good when we're excited about defensive rotation, the next pass, somebody hitting a game-time winning shot. When the whole team, when you're young, you want to be the man, you want to get your point. But when you start to get older, understand what's important in the league, and you playing with guys that make you look better and take the pressure off you so you can go do your job, that's what you're looking for.
Hey, a perfect example, I'm going to tell you, last night, KD went to the sideline after he hit a big shot, and Steph was the first one up to meet him. You know what he told him? Don't worry, I got you. You know how many times they probably had that conversation in the course of a year where Steph then told KD, I got you? You want to see that from your two-star players. So I wouldn't give the reins to nobody. They're both great. They just take different times leading. And that's why they finna win another championship.
You said, Jason, KD took the easy way out. Now, we didn't agree, but you can't ever say that about Steph.
No,
Steph
you can't.
was a building block, so you can't disrespect him.
If I was Steph, I'd be
Two-time finals
trying to go
two-time
to
MVP.
Charlotte or someplace.
What?
He's a two-time MVP.
To take a step back?
Exactly. Never win it again?
It'll never be his team again. To me,
Wow.
last night exposed, he's not necessary.
What?
Oh, no.
Oh, he's definitely necessary.
Jason, come on now.
They won championships
no,
without
no.
Durant,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
without
Still
Steph.
under the weather? Are you still under the weather?
Look, man.
You've been gone the last 2 days. I'm starting to worry
man.
about it.
He had to walk. It's hot outside. He had to walk. And he had his hat on. He having a little heat stroke right
The
now.
guy had one of the worst. He looked like John Starks last night.
Oh,
You know,
my
That's one
goodness.
game.
Who hit
And
the
they
big
won.
three? Who hit the big
One
three?
game.
Who hit the big three when they needed it?
Kevin Durant did.
No. Steph did. Steph
Clay was
hit
off
the
too.
big three.
Wide open when they wouldn't guard
but
it.
he
Where
was
was
wide
Kevin
open on
Durant
other
in
shots he didn't
2015
make.
when they won their championship? Where was he?
I
Watching
get
it.
it. I
They
get
won
it.
it without him,
watching it
so
like
they
us.
haven't won it without
I'm not
Steph.
blaming Steph. It got snatched from him. KD came in like a thief in the night, and it got snatched from him. I'm not blaming
They
him.
don't care, man.
They don't
I'm
care.
telling you.
Who is
they-
the highest
they
paid
don't-
on their team right now?
The highest paid?
Yeah.
Steph.
Steph.
Yeah, Steph.
Oh, I'm just Steph.
right.
Oh, my bad.
All right, welcome back. Jim Jackson is here for last call. Let's move to Charles Barkley, who, as usual, spoke his mind after Game 3 last night, saying he's never seen a team as dumb as the Cavaliers in his life. Jim, do you blame Ty Lue for the Cavs' dumb game?
Oh, I blame Ty Lue for not communicating the adjustments to the slip screen because it's extremely difficult to guard. If I'm guarding you on a regular screen, I can jump out if I'm the back man and help. But right now, since Game 2, the slip screen has been working effectively, and the Cavaliers' defense hasn't made the adjustment, and you do have to go back to the coaching staff on that.
I blame J.R. Smith, and I blame LeBron James, to be quite honest with you. J.R. Smith is a travesty on defense. He's not mentally engaged in the game except on the offensive end. I think that makes it hard to coach. And then when you go back to Game 2 and LeBron James' timeout performance emasculated Ty Lue, again, we're all looking at it from the media, and we're wondering how that lands with the Cavaliers players when LeBron James. So I think Ty Lue's been in a very difficult situation just coaching the Cavs. LeBron makes it hard to coach, and J.R. Smith is such a wild card that, I blame them. See you Monday.